please tell us a story.
30th September 2014 wasn't like any other in the football sector, especially in Warri Delta State. It was a day that would forever amplify the name Amaju Melvin Pinnick. Then chairman of the State Sports Commission, Pinnick sought the highest position in football, the office of the Nigerian Football Federation president. Well, despite needing a run-off, victory was his.
After the second round of voting, I have the duty, the privilege and honor of announcing that P. Amaju Melvin of Delta State has won the election into the position of the president of the Nigeria Football Federation.
4 years later in Katsina, armed with experience in continental appellations, it was no surprise that he polled a total of 34 votes as he floored the other contestant, one of which a former president, Aminu Maigari. Alas, second term assured. Considering there were no statutory limitations, the handwriting was on the wall that Pinnick would most likely seek a third term. For many, this wouldn't be a surprise, as he caught a figure of one with a natural eye for positions. If this was a football match, Amaju's third term bid was on the semi-final phase, and the odds heavily stacked in his favour. And then Ghana happened. World Cup 2022 ticket gone. How can you explain this happening if you consider our bilateral relations with Qatar?
Do you know the relationship, the bilateral relationship that we have with Qatar as a government? Then Nigeria will not be in Qatar. It's not. Just think about it. You want to see Buhari in Qatar, and he will gladly come to Qatar.
The same year, the Eagles had lost out on the second round to Tunisia at the AFCON. The Falcons had lost their birthright to South Africa at the African Women's Cup of Nations. He surely didn't need a sage to advise him to envelope those dreams, and thankfully, he had a family to think about.
I'm eligible to run based on our statute. Do I want to run at this moment? It's a no-no. My family, they've seen that I've put in my all. I've done my best. They've seen that it's taking a toll on me, taking a toll on the family, and that they believe that it's time that I should move on.
Common sense at last. Family is truly everything. As they say, you don't wait until it's dark to look for a black goat. With a third term bid squashed, it was finally time to anoint a successor. On August 18, 2022, the NFF held its 77th Annual General Assembly in Lagos, and one of the decisions ratified was for the elections that will usher in a new board be conducted on September 30th, with Benin as the choice location. The number of aspirants who showed interest to replace Amaju was unprecedented. In fairness, the campaign strategy of some of these contestants was commendable.
I am coming to develop the internal economy of football in Nigeria. I am certainly aware that Nigeria needs a robust and comprehensive coaching education for its coaches at all levels. I am aware that Nigeria needs to see their local league thrive, a situation where players will not have to protest before they are paid their entitlement. I believe strongly that we deserve a football in our local economy where the stadiums would meet the standards for a good football match and where security will be guaranteed for officials, away players, and supporters. I intend to run a Nigerian Football Federation that will be competitive and comparable to other world-class football federations. To make sure that there is a football revival at our local level, I will work with every stakeholder to bring back football in schools, to bring back football to the communities, and to galvanize everybody into making sure that our football again gets the needed light. I am coming to develop our women football, to support our women leagues, to give respect and honor to women football players, and create an enabling environment for the girl child to exhibit the skills that she has as far as football is concerned. I look forward to seeing Nigerian referees representing Nigeria in both CAF and FIFA competitions. I am also coming to make sure that our media operators get the best of trainings and exposures so that they will be able to continue to see how best they can deliver our media operations during our matches. I want to see a situation where we have a united players union, a united supporters group. We would respect everyone that has anything to do with football, and more importantly, we would make sure that Nigerian football is taken back to the Nigerian people.
Then the usual drama began. September 15th, a high court sitting in Abuja issued an injunction against the NFF elections because of a case brought against the governing body, its president Amaju Pinnick, as well as the country's sport minister Sunday Dare. The legal action involves a complaint by a body comprising two players' union factions seeking equal representation regarding voting rights. Justice Ian Eko, who ruled on the case, adjourned until October 31st. Only a newbie in the football community would have been surprised by this. For the last decade or more, it's been an endless circle of controversies whenever there's an election to be held. In 2006, Ibrahim Galadima, who was re-elected NFF president in a FIFA-endorsed Congress, was thrown out of office. There's also the case of Sani Lulu, impeached after the World Cup in 2010. Aminu Maigari, during his time as NFF president, needed FIFA's intervention to be reinstated. Amaju Pinnick himself was elected amid court injunctions in his first term. Miraculously, September 28, 2 days before the election, the chairman of the Electoral Committee, Chief Aikunigbe Anthony Malik, a senior advocate of Nigeria, released a statement confirming the receipt of an enrolled order of the Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, which, as he affirmed, was a strong enough legal wicket for the Electoral Committee to proceed with the conduct of the elections on September 30th, 2022. On the morning of September 30th, 2022, even the air tasted different. It was exactly 8 years since Amaju Pinnick was first elected NFF president, a day his board is officially dissolved, and he leaves with the record of being the longest-serving FA president in history. Was your tenure a success or failure?
Life is but a commitment to serve, and to live when the ovation seemed to be loudest. A few months ago, rather a month ago, when we were in Lagos to do this, I came out and I apologized, even though I didn't dare. But I said, let us move on. Because when Megeri was handing over this Congress to me, he handed one indivisible Congress. So if I'm going to hand it over, it's going to be this Congress. To me, that's my greatest achievement.
I had mentioned earlier that the number of aspirants seeking the NFF presidency was unprecedented, but as it is with most elections, before the process began, some candidates chose to withdraw from the race, leaving only Peterside Ida, Abayola, David Doherty, Christian Emeroa, Ibrahim Gusau, Sheyi Akiomi, and Malam Shehu Diko vying for the highest office. And of course, there would always be favourite in any event, and the NFF 2022 elections were indifferent.
The first vice president, I call him my co-president, he's very creative. Barrister Sheyi Akiomi, my second vice president, chairman of the league, my brother, chairman of chairmen, my brother Ibrahim Gusau.
At exactly 3:20 p.m, the voting exercise started with a 41 accredited delegates. First, it was for the office of the NFF president.
Some 42 days ago, this august body graciously approved the appointment and constitution of the NFF Electoral Committee with the mandate, and I like to describe that mandate as onerous mandate, to conduct a credible, democratic, free and fair elections.
1 hour later, following 2 rounds of voting, 58-year-old Ibrahim Musa Gusau was elected as the new president of the Nigeria Football Federation. He pulled 39 out of 40 votes in the rerun election after all the candidates had initially failed to meet the 22 votes requirement.
The election to the office of President, Nigeria Football Federation, as follows. Total number of votes cast, 41. Total number of valid votes cast, 40. Total number of invalid votes, 1. At the end of the day, Alhaji Gusau Ibrahim Musa scored a total of 39 votes, while Mr. Peterside Ida scored a total of 1 vote. Accordingly, therefore, and having satisfied the requirements of the law, i.e. the NFF statute, the guidelines for the election, as well as the electoral code of the NFF, I, Akunlegbe Anthony Malik, chairman of the NFF Electoral Committee, hereby declare and return Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau as duly elected and therefore the president-elect of the NFF.
Well, 8 years of holding the position of chairman of the 37 chairmen who were part of the voting process and laced with the support of an incumbent, victory was 99.3 certain for Gusau. In the same breath, for Akiumi and Diko, you could sense they would feel disappointed that their principal had let them down.
I don't blame people for disappointing you. I blame yourself for trusting them. I don't blame people for disappointing you. I blame yourself for trusting them.
Well, for Ibrahim Gusau, this is the work of God.
First of all, we must thank God the Almighty for making this day possible for us. And by the grace of God, we are kickstarting from now, being sworn in as the duly elected board for the Nigeria Football Federation that will serve for a period of 4 years.
In addition, he says, and I quote verbatim, "My vision is to provide a stable and successful NFF that is focused on the development of the game at the grassroots, the leagues and national team levels. Rebuilding and rejuvenating our domestic leagues are top on our agenda as they are key in the progress of Nigerian football." His predecessor somewhat failed to win the heart of football fans but went on to fulfill personal ambitions.
I stand here today wearing this suit. People that do not know, you will not know that there's a difference between the FIFA suits. The FIFA suit with the gold emblem shows that there are only 37 people in the world that can only wear this suit. And a Nigerian, your brother, that is the reason I wore it, is wearing this suit. Protect it.
The question now is, what will be Ibrahim Musa Gusau's tale as president of the NFF in the next 4 years? For now, no one knows.